So today we are opening more cards. Hope you're enjoying this series that I've been doing. Today is Desert Storm. Desert Storm Coalition for Peace. I mean, that's a tank and a gun. Nothing says peace more than a tank and a gun, right?
Tell me, young man, what do you want out of life?
I want peace.
We all want peace, but it's always just out of reach. So, what's the best way to get peace?
With a knife.
Exactly. Not with the olive branch, but the bayonet.
Some of you younger folk might be going, they had collectible war cards? Yeah, they did. A little backstory. Like, war was celebrated when we were kids. World War II was like this great victory and triumph for the United States. They were so proud. The veterans of that war, knew what they were fighting for, whether it was all above board or not. They had a mission. They were fighting true, bad guys. Hitler, obviously a bad guy, right? And then, so we're all gung-ho. We're like, yeah, kill these krauts. And then Japan comes over to Hawaii, and they're like, yo, you want some of this, Japan? How about these two big bombs? You attack our island, you're an island, we'll wipe out your goddamn cities, the whole thing. Just vaporize you. And everybody went, yay. This was before 24-hour news. This was way before social media. There were like 3 channels and a newspaper in your city, right? So nobody fully knew what was going on. Then Vietnam came along. The media was much bigger then. And people were pissed about Vietnam because they didn't know what they were fighting for. It seemed like just a losing battle for no reason. Why are we involved in this? Our brothers are dying. Our fathers are dying. Bring them back, Bring them back. That was the sentiment. So that was, Now, when I was born, Reagan was president, right? And there were years and years and years before that of hey, our president's great. We love our president. And then as I'm coming of age, this happens. The Bushes, like them or not, had this southern drawl, not great speakers, and people started questioning things. And then there was Clinton. As I'm supposed to be learning about politics and government, Clinton's getting his dick sucked in the White House. It just wasn't, the media wasn't out there. By the time this rolled around, there was 24-hour news cycles, no social media. That didn't come till later. But, there was still a part of the world that was kind of like, yay, war. The United States wouldn't go into some conflict unless, there was good reason, unless our leaders, our presidents that we respect, we're doing it for good reason, right? So, you had right alongside, you had your Topps baseball, your Upper Deck, Fleer, Michael Jordan cards, whatever it was at the time, 1991. This was actually printed by Topps. So in the same factory that they were making those baseball cards, and if you're my age, you have boxes and boxes of, and they're worth nothing, and your parents supported you buying them. They took you to baseball card shows, they'd buy you packs for Christmas, they'd really help you chase those rare cards you were looking for, and they're worth nothing. Meanwhile, a couple years after this came out, I got into Magic the Gathering. The Black Lotus was a $200 card at the time, and my parents thought that was insane. Well, guess what? That is worth 500 times that now. So, Mom and Dad, you should have bought one, or 2 or 3. But anyway, I do have Wade Boggs' rookie card, so I'll go get $15 for that. Who are we gonna find? I really hope I get a Saddam Hussein right off the bat. Are there enemy cards in here, or is it just all the good guys, or what? 8 trading cards, 1 sticker. Where was I putting the sticker? What the fuck? Let's grip and rip this thing. Oh boy. Well, I see that these have taken some damage. I don't know what would have caused that. Oh, this is the sticker. This is the sticker. This is apparently the insignia of the 75th Infantry. It is fucking wild that I'm holding a sticker for the 75th Infantry motto of their own accord. So these guys just decide to shoot whoever they want, apparently. Where if you got this sticker, what are you doing with it? I bet they had a sticker book. They should have given a stick of bubble gum. This is the exact pack I remember, pack style, this waxy paper that I remember getting bubble gum in. And if you open them now, it's fucking rock solid. It breaks your teeth almost. These are even funnier than I thought. These cards are not of people. None of them. I thought I was going to get like a George Bush, a Saddam Hussein, Colin Powell. Was Colin Powell involved in that one, or was that later on? Who's the General Schwarzkopf? Remember General? No, these are not the heroes of the war. This is wild. First, we got a Tomahawk missile in flight. That thing's on its way to blow up a village. And that, you would have bought your 1991 Topps, Major League Baseball set. You would have been looking for a sweet Mark McGwire card, right? You would have bought your 1991 Fleer, looking for a Michael Jordan. And then you would have bought your, right next to it, right on the same shelves at Kmart, or, for my New England folk, Bradley's. You would have been chasing for that Tomahawk missile in flight. The low-flying Tomahawk cruise missile is guided by computerized map and special electronic sensors. It can elude Iraqi radar defenses and knock out formidable anti-aircraft emplacements. 51 of the first 52 Tomahawks fired during Operation Desert Storm were bullseyes. 52 bullseyes. That's a lot of dead people. That's an F-18 wants to fly high. I mean, that is definitely dear for. That's like the way they write Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh boy, it tells you all the guns. Oh, this thing can shoot. Oh no, the range of this thing's traveling is 461 miles. It tells you the contractor, McDonnell Aircraft Company. Wonder how much money they gave to lobbyists to approve these military actions. Is a dual fighter/attack role. I mean, what's the difference? Cutting edge warplane, advanced features. We got the controls, the action shot. These guys are, again, about to go blow people up. And again, they're collectible trading cards celebrating blowing people up. Think about how far technology has come since 1991. We're just talking 34 years ago. These were murder machines, and technology has advanced so far. The CH-53 helicopter with it's shooting fireworks. Yeah, this thing 540 miles. Only goes 196 miles an hour. Actually, that's crazy. Now I want to get back to that F-18 because that one went almost 1,200 miles per hour. This helicopter's only going 200. So think about you're in this helicopter and an enemy's in this thing. It's over. It's over for you. Why are we flying these helicopters? Oh, this is nuts. The power of the Tomahawk. And you'll see on top, there's a building. And on bottom, there's a disintegrated building. Anybody in there? Quite possibly a trading card with a depiction of a mass murder. That's pretty cool. The F-14 flies in formation. These are pretty cool looking planes. I'll give this one credit. I like that. I like that. These things, maximum speed, Mach 2.34. I don't know what that means. Somebody drop a comment, tell me what Mach means. Laser gyro system and new threat warning self-protection jammer system. Okay. We got the USS Willett frigate. Frigate? Tell me how to pronounce that down in the comments. I'm just a simple man. That's a boat. Is that a boat or a ship? I used to work with a Coast Guard guy. He told me there's a difference between a boat and a ship. I didn't listen. Went in here, out there. I was pissed off, depressed. I had to work. Sucked. I don't work anymore. It's awesome. I work pretty hard, but I don't punch anybody's clock. I just do shit like this and then help people buy and sell houses. Where are we at? We're at the USS Willett frigate. Frigates are the largest single warship class. All right, these are big motherfuckers. They carry anti-aircraft, anti-submarine, missile, and gun armament. The Willett is also equipped with one 2F helicopter in a hangar, satellite communications, and radar systems for launching missiles and jamming the enemy's detection systems. I, to this day, till right now, till this very moment, and maybe a car to go, did not realize that jamming things was a real technical term, something that actually happened.
Okay, we save her. But how? The minute we move in there, they're going to spot us on their radar.
Not if we jam it.
Aha! You're right!
Down scope.
Down scope! Radar about to be jammed.
Always thought like jamming a radar was just a movie thing, you know, and apparently it's real. They might use the fruit jam. I don't know. And we got one last card. This was this was hilarious to me, but like, who the fuck wanted these? What was anyone doing with these? Why was anyone buying these? Did anyone buy more than one pack? Did somebody get a whole fucking box of these and rip them open and go, yay! I got the 75th Infantry sticker. I mean, like, I guess if you were in the military, this might be interesting, but if you're fighting off your PTSD, probably not. Maybe if you were you never got deployed and you knew about all this shit, it might be interesting. I have no idea. Taking off in an F-18. And then for some reason, on the back, it's got a timeline. Oh, wait, Desert Shield to Desert Storm. That's how I remember. Yeah, I meant to talk about this earlier, and I forgot. I remember they were like, we're going into Operation Desert Shield, which was like, hey, we're going to protect the people. We're going to protect Kuwait, I guess. They were going to Saudi Arabia to protect Kuwait from the invasion of Iraq. Well, I think it's going to explain it to me. That's what I remember. And then it went to Desert Storm. We're going to kick the fuck out of Saddam Hussein. And it took like another 20 years. Like Saddam Hussein just stayed in power, right? And then we had to go get him. We had to make up some stories about jet fuel, melting steel beams, a little, make some fake passports, put some artificial Muslims on a plane. I don't know what happened really. The official story ain't real. No matter, we can make jokes about it all day long and speculation and who knows what the fuck was real and fake, but that 9/11 story ain't fucking real. Don't care what anybody says. I stood right next to Jeb Bush one time, and I had never been fully convinced that the Bushes were like an evil family, but I just felt this fucking weird aura. Like, I've met a couple people who were like real bad guys in my life, and you get this aura off those people. I got that from Jeb Bush. Now, Jeb Bush, I think, is a moron, so I don't think it's him, but...
Many hours later...
There was this conflict. Saddam Hussein stayed in power. Some buildings fell down in New York City. And then we went and attacked Saddam Hussein again. Then we finally got him out of power. I guess it wasn't 20 years. Like, by the time it was over, maybe 15 years apart, I guess. Anyway, the story of Desert Shield to Desert Storm. August 2nd, 1990, Saddam Hussein leads Iraqi troops to invade Kuwait. You know what I've never heard is why. What did he want? Isn't Kuwait like a teeny tiny little chunk of land? Oh, yeah. Guess people are still fighting over teeny tiny chunks of land for no obvious reasons. Anyway, August 5th, 1990, with the unprecedented agreement of almost every member of the United Nations, the USA responded to Saudi Arabia's appeal for support by sending thousands of troops to the Persian Gulf. 27 other countries also contributed to the Allied effort. 27 other countries. We never hear shit about the 27 other countries. Like, I feel like they'll show us, like, England sometimes and, like, maybe France? I don't know. Germany? I think Germany has to help in everything still because they just owe the world. Okay, January 15th, 1991. Deadline for Iraq to leave Kuwait to avoid military action by Allied forces. Iraq ignores the United Nations deadline and remains in Kuwait. So, all right, we gathered up on August 5th, and we waited September, October, November, December, January. 5 months. We gave them 5 months to leave. You know how much shit a bad guy can do in a country in 5 months? They're looking crazy. Give them 5 months. So then they didn't leave on the 15th, and January 16th, 1991, the first airstrike occurs, changing Desert Shield into the grueling Operation Desert Storm. And, you know, I remember this was fairly quick. It was over fairly quick. They call this a grueling operation. What did we do in Afghanistan for 20 years if this was grueling? Jesus fucking Christ. Down in the comments, tell me if this was, if there was anything entertaining, funny, or if this was just depressing. Because actually I'm feeling a little depressed about the endless wars. And I'm going to get out of here. Fuck off.